Welcome back to the Chillin' the Party podcast. I'm your host, Clarkson Rec, and today we are back with another episode of Party Invite. We have a very special guest today, author, performer, dungeon master of sorts, multi-talented human, all while doing this on hard mode. We have our guest, Dice and Autism.
I have never thought of it that way. But holy sh!
It's the truth.
Doing this
it's the
on
truth.
hard mode.
While doing everything on hard mode.
That is. That was great. That was great. Oh man.
Okay. D20
He's about to write that down.
Jesus Christ.
You can have that one. You can have that one.
Yeah. Hi everybody. I'm Dice and Autism, and yeah, I'm glad to be here with all these cool, wonderful people. What's up?
Hey. Yes, glad to have you. Glad to have you.
Like I said before, I'm Clarkson Rec. I'm joined by my co-host. It's 2 a.m., aka Al, aka Big Al, aka Black Jesus. If you know, you know.
If you know, you know. Black Ambassador. All the things. I'm just man of many names. All right, I'm out here.
Hells yeah.
Yeah.
Absolutely. So I want to get right into this because our guest, I've seen him on other podcasts. I'm also a very big fan of him from TikTok. I mainly know him from his shorts, but he also does a lot of different things. Again, like I said in the beginning, multi-talented human. For all of those who don't know, go ahead, just give us the flex a little bit. Tell us all about who Dice and Autism is.
Okay. Well, where to start? I, as a TikToker and like a content creator, I do tell the occasional skits of D&D and tabletop RPGs in general. But I got my mark and everything of being known as one of the sad people of D&D TikTok with my main series of the Fighter Saga, of where I just have like characters just like, yo, what if this fighter and his group of friends had a really sad but funny story, but also very, very sad.
Also very, very sad.
Very, very.
Yep. And then people were just like, wow, this is sad. We like this, but we're also sad while watching it. And it's just been like, thank you for your tears. It's supporting everything. Holy crap. And it's also like spun off with the Pact of the Father, which is more of a dramedy kind of like a situation. There will be comedy moments and there will be serious moments and everything with Villa, our warlock, who has a dad who's very much his patron and is the very unconditional love, but also super protective. And also, I do streaming on the Twitch and everything, and I also run an actual play called New Rollist, which is sort of a 19s, 20s. He's a gangster, like gang warfare and all that stuff and everything. And you can also check that out on my Twitch channel and also on our actual play channel, which is called Tailscale, which is run by a whole bunch of people with a whole bunch of other crazy, great, wonderful APs that we have on there. So, yeah.
Hell yeah. All of that will be down below. Don't worry about it.
It'll be in there.
Yeah.
It'll be in there.
I had to say this real quick. Also, the Bard one. With the dragon.
Tell me another one. I love them so much.
Do you feel bonita?
Oh, that meme. Yeah. Okay, I thought you were talking about Belvy Nobilette from Fighter Saga, and I was like, yeah.
So he was talking. I think he was talking about that one. I was talking about the.
That was married to the dragon.
Okay. Yes. Okay. Yeah. I love that. That's one of my favorite. That was like one of my favorite romances I've done in Fighter Saga, and then the Bard, the dragon feeling bonita meme, I did not think that was going to be so viral. I did not think it was going to be that viral. Like, everyone was doing the bonita audio, and I was like, okay, how do I do this in D&D aspect? That's not like lip syncing it and everything. And I was like, all right, let's see if the dragon feels bonita after like the fighter uses all his action surge to help out with the makeup, dress, and the fit.
Dress. I was not expecting the dress. The dress like threw me. I was just like, all right, this is the dragon now feels bonita.
Yeah, hey,
slow tier.
Exactly.
I'm not gonna lie. I was so locked in. I was like, "Where's he going with this?" I was like, "How is he?" Is he gonna land this plane? I need to.
Yeah,
I was like, you could have really broke that up into 3 parts. I would have watched all 3. I was like, how do we land this?
The return.
Yeah, I think I was like during the time when like it was still like the under 3 minutes limit for like TikTok in that frame. So I was like, all right, I got an extra 3 minutes here from the usual like 60 seconds. I can take my time a little bit. Gotta rush a little bit, but I can take my time. So it's just like bam, 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 and then finally when we hit the note, and then just be like kablooey explosion, and then just start doing the robot and dancing.
It works. It works.
Yeah,
it definitely
it works so well. It works so well.
Oh man.
So the question you get asked 10 million times.
Yes.
We're gonna ask it anyway.
What?
The name Dice and Autism.
Yes. Well, actually, I thought like including you. So first watching a whole bunch of compilations of D&D TikTok from YouTube during the lockdown of COVID and everything, I was like, I'm gonna do this and everything. I was like coming up with the username and everything, and I was like, okay, like I have the TISM, and also D&D is also with dices, so. Oh, okay. I was like, yeah! I came up with it in the first hand. First username was Dice and Asperger's and everything. But then a follower, after I got a little bit more bigger, everything, kindly tapped me on the shoulder and be like, hey, Asperger's is kind of a bad thing due to this Hans Asperger dude. And then I looked it up and I was like, oh! So I switched it to autism, and it rolls off the tongue so much better and everything. And I thought I was like, hey, Dice and Autism, Dice, that's kind of a unique username and stuff. And then finds out there's a whole bunch of other people with dices in their username. So it's like, hey, like
still unique. Still unique. You got it.
Exactly.
It's all a mixture of dungeon or dice, or it's there's always like it's like D4 through D20 and somewhere in there. They're all painfully similar.
Yeah, it's all cut from the same cloth, but you know what? It's okay. There's room for the materials to be shown in the different light and fashions.
Yeah.
I agree completely. I agree.
It's very true. It's nice.
So,
it's unique.
So when it comes to the content that you make, because I know most people, like me, for example, I mostly know you from your TikTok skits, which I think are hilarious. I've also watched some of your APs that are on your channel, but like, out of all of the things that you do, I'm trying to find a better way to phrase this, because there's so many of them. What was the order in which these things happened? Like, was it like D&D fan, or did you start as a writer, or did it go from there to AP performer? Like, what is the origins of Dice and Autism?
The origins of Dice and Autism, I feel like for most D&D people, was theater.
Yes, a lot of theater kids.
Exactly. Like, I grew, raised in like around theater and everything. I love theater to death in places. I still want to be a part of theater with my professional career and everything. I want to be able to like perform on stage with people, and also have like one of my plays be produced at a professional theater as well, and all that stuff. So there's always been an aspect of like writing and performing that I've always loved and everything. And then with Dungeons and Dragons and tabletop RPGs, it was like the hybrid that I have been looking for and everything. Because there's both this combination of like writing something and then just performing and being a goober about it.
Of course.
You got to.
Yeah, and then when first starting out the channel, you always kind of like start out with the humor, because that's like the most like easy, accessible thing that everyone can do and stuff. But I got really inspired by just seeing people on my feed just like doing like these really cool, intricate stories in these like short 15, 30, 60 seconds. All that stuff, like Sarah's Coffee, Mars Does Not Grow, Patrons of Lore, all those great people, and Grim Songbird the Bard. And it was just like, oh, I want to do that. And it was like, it was really cool to have like this challenge of like telling a story under like 60 seconds and like using an audio to kind of like give the frame of the story and tone that you can play along with it. So it was like, after doing like a bunch of humor stuff for a while, I was like, all right, let's dip our toes in the drama bit, because I've always loved doing drama as well and everything. And then it just kind of like grew as it went and everything, as I did more and more of like trying out different aspects of like D&D and TTRPG performances. Like I played in one-shots, like guest characters and like other campaigns. And then I was just very much like, I want to do an actual play and everything. And I started, and my first actual play is New Ross and still going on and stuff. Just very much like, but I don't have the skills to be like, to tell like a huge ass world and everything. So I'm just going to start off with a small town and everything and just contain it there. And it just like grew from there. And that's actually a good tip for all you newbie DMs who want to do a homebrew setting and everything. You can just do a town. Start out with a town as your central hub for like maybe like the first few arcs and everything, and if you're feeling comfortable about it, then you can start expanding the world and everything. And then yeah, it is you gotta transition slowly into the deep end of the pool by getting used to the water. So
I couldn't agree more, because I got into D&D a lot later than most people, because I didn't pick it up until I was in my early 20s. And when I was trying to figure out how to become a DM, it was Iffy Wadiway, of all people, who did an interview where he was talking about how he writes his stories, and he was talking about the bullseye of like how it affects your characters here, then how it affects the immediate area around them, and then the bigger consequences. And I think that a lot of people skip the small, and that's where you get a lot of your story building, and that's when you get a lot of those connections and a lot of those important. That's the bulk of your story. Like, not everything has to be Marvel multiversal consequences. It really, it's not meant to be. So that's a lot. There's not a lot of people that could pull that off too.
Yeah. It's very true. It's nice though. I like that. Just the I'm gonna start small and then make my way.
Yeah, definitely, because I feel like that also prevents from like going to burnout and everything, of just like expecting yourself to like, all right, with like, the motto of go big, go home and everything. Like it kind of like applies to certain things and everything, but when you're doing something, when it's like the arts and entertainment and performing and everything, go big, go home goes to like the performance of your doing and everything. When making the stuff and everything, you gotta do it in like nice increments and everything, because you're starting off. You don't want to try and deadlift 400 pounds and everything. You're gonna blow out your back and your sphincter and everything. You gotta like do leg day, do arm day. Start with the 5-pound dumbbells and work your way up. Yeah. It's about anima intolerance.
You making a layered cake.
It really is the truth. You gotta get your reps in.
Exactly.
Because it's when it comes to like just like prep, there's so many different styles of being a dungeon master, and there's so many different ways to approach it. It really just depends on how your brain actually works and how you can convey those ideas to everybody else. Because like some people are very visual people, like you see their DM notes, they have pages and pages of notes, they have maps, they have down to like the corridor and how much space is in between everything else. And then there's people who just kind of show up, open the DM guide, flip a page, land on a monster, and they're just like, my whole story's about that. So on that spectrum, where would you say that you are when it comes to you preparing for your sessions?
For my sessions, because I did a lot of improv with my theater training and everything, so I'm very much kind of like trained to be able to kind of like come up with the fly of like certain like stuff and everything. And I feel like being able to do things on the fly or have like your basic like pitches and bone structure in your head is like, it's gonna get you at a good pace and everything, depending on like if you're doing like a mini campaign or like a one shot and everything. But when it comes to like long running APs and everything, you're gonna have to have like some structure in there just to be kind of like the nice reference checklist to be like, okay, here are the story beats that we gotta hit and everything and all that stuff. Because I learned when we were like going further in and everything, and with like just crazy stuff happening in my life with like school and mental health, I was like, okay, usual method isn't working right now because we're missing and doing some like goofs. So I was like, all right, retrain, new methods and stuff. So it definitely helps out to have like a nice map. And when like certain elements that the characters and players decide to do that wasn't what you're expecting and to do, because we play a game that involves like chances on the dice and all that stuff. It's like, then I can be able to like, okay, all right, we got like a beat where we can add a little improv here to be kind of like, bam. So that way it kind of like helps him fill that gap of like, okay, make sure everyone is like the smoothest ride possible. So yeah.
Yeah, that little mini panic attack when they say the one thing that you did plan for, and you're just like, yeah, don't worry, I knew that one was coming. Like, I just have to pee all of a sudden. Give me 5 minutes.
Yeah, I usually embrace it and everything. I'm always like the hype person of somebody doing something crazy. I'm like, all right, let's do it, because I am very cheering for them. But there will always be those 1 or 2 moments where I'm like, wait, hold up. This was not something I was actually going to think was going to happen. This was like the near impossible task, but yet you reached it somehow. I'm impressed, but also like, what the hell?
Because that's kind of the nature of like being like an AP performer.
Yep.
At your home table, it's like, oh yeah, like we're doing this thing. This is for us. We enjoy it. Like, if we want to spend 10 episodes in the same dungeon, we can do that. But there is kind of like this expectation to bring that entertainment value because people are watching it. So like, I feel like everyone does feel the need to do the coolest thing possible at all times. But as the DM for those cool things, we're just like, slow down.
Yeah. When it comes to those and everything, I feel like having the conversation with the players who have like the experience with APs and also have like good idea for like structured story beats and everything, because you can easily get lost in the sauce of like wanting to do the cool things in front of like an audience and stuff and everything. Yeah. But when you have at a table who are collectively like, all right, let's tell the best story we can while also making sure everybody has their moment of shine and do and everything. And that's what I always encourage at my tables and stuff. I always make sure everybody at the table with their character has these moments and brilliance of their characters that they can do, and just like is able to have their character like have some development, some moments, and just like have like the nice highlight reel them to remember and everything.
Of course, you're like making sure that spotlight is moving around and it's not.
Yeah.
Because there's always like the really high charisma characters that are always going to like pop out in front, but making sure that like the wizard in the background also gets to say something every once in a while.
Oh yeah,
it's fast and has a moment.
Yeah.
Brooding the coal.
If
you gotta listen. You know, sometimes you just gotta brood, but you gotta brood in the spotlight. You can't just brood in the corner.
Brood in the spotlight. Well, the point of brooding is just to be sort of like antisocial and not to like be noticed. So like you're not really brooding. You're actually just like kind of like being the teenager who's like, leave me alone. But also, can you make me some like rolls and everything to be really cool? I love you very much.
Chicken nuggets.
Chicken nuggets with the ketchup and the cheddar cheese puffs, please.
Yeah. Yeah. Thanks.
Thanks, Mom.
Thanks, Mom.
Thanks or whatever.
Lordy.
Yes, absolutely.
So we've talked about D&D a lot, but again, you are also a writer.
Yeah.
Theatrically trained.
Yeah.
So, at this point, which one do you want to cover first? Because
let me roll a dice here. Evens.
Gosh, rolling.
What? I have tons of dices on my desk, and you don't expect me to throw in like a chance to roll the dice?
Yes.
Oh, those are pretty. Oh,
yes.
Okay. All right.
Oh no.
All right. Yeah. Okay. What do we got? Evens. What was evens again?
Whatever.
This is where the ADHD comes in.
Yes. Good. Understood. I understand it.
We'll talk your book first. We'll talk.
Yeah. My favorite terrain as a kid was the library and everything, and Barnes and Nobles. I will always be there, find a corner, get a pile of books, and kind of like skim through like the summary and be like, okay, this kind of looks interesting. This, maybe not. And then just be like, ooh, having this one. And just like add it, go to the desk and be like, these please. And just check them out. And also just like checking out everything, but for me, writing, I always loved because it was just like be able to like put the crazy words and imagery in my head and kind of like put them out there. Because I tried drawing and everything, and I still want to learn how to draw and stuff. But drawing for me is always was like that kind of like that pressure of like, okay, this line has to be perfect.
Yeah,
exactly. The line has to be perfect, and I have like chicken scratch handwriting, so whenever like I would always be like, when it was like curved up around and everything. But with writing and everything, it was like I was able to like construct an imagery with words and stuff. So I was just like, this is really, really cool. And just like already like tell these stories and all that stuff was just amazing and incredible. And I bounced around like a whole bunch of genres and everything, because that's what you do as a kid and everything. The one that's always like grabbed me as a writing thing was like the fantasy and like also like the supernatural things of it and all. Those two I always clicked with. And now I know it's like urban fantasy. It's called urban fantasy when you want to put it in a modern setting and still have that fantasy element. So I'm like, yes. And when I was in high school and stuff, one of my friends, we were just like, hey, we should write like a book together and everything, because we were both Percy Jackson fans, and we were like, we should try to like write kind of like a more mature Percy Jackson with swearing and blood and everything, because we're teenagers full of shit.
Gotta make it edgy. It's edgy Percy Jackson.
Angsty, edgy Percy Jackson.
Yeah, and so we wrote it and everything, and then we kind of like forgot about it when we graduated, and then we reunited like back in college when she just hit me up and everything. She runs a very cool like small indie bookshop at our hometown and stuff, which is really, really cool. I'm like, hells yeah. And she was like, yeah. And she was like, hey, we have this book that we wrote together. You want to like polish it up and like get it out there to self-publish and everything? And I'm like, hells yeah, let's do it. And we got that book out, polish it up, since writing is like a growing skill. The more you learn and the more you age and stuff. And that was my first book that got self-published out there. It's called The Stolen and all that stuff. Like I said, if you like Percy Jackson's and if you want to hear like the characters be able to swear with some fights, and like one of the guys have like the set of Apollo, he's my favorite character in there. He always had like guns as his weapon of choice, and whenever Chimera come out, he'd just be like, all right, give me a shotgun. Bam!
Jeez.
I'm sold.
Yes. Yeah. What? Guns against chimeras? Sign me up. Where's the video?
Yeah.
Actually, I want the game right now.
Google.
Yeah. Oh God. And then when COVID hit and everything, I was like trying to find ways to like get the creative energy out. And then during that, I discovered like Wattpad and everything. And I was like, this is kind of like a cool website where people can like post their stories and everything. I didn't know it was like Wattpad was actually like this fan fiction like site and all that stuff. I just thought it was like a cool website for like other writers and everything. So I wrote like a full novella on there that was about werewolves and all that stuff, because werewolves are cooler than vampires. I will fight anybody on that.
See, I feel you. Terry won't like that, but I feel you.
Hell
I think werewolves are pretty dope. I'm on Dice's side on this one.
Yeah.
I agree.
I think they get too much credit.
Yeah, like vampires. Vampires are cool and all, but I'm gonna be real. We've had too much vampire stories. They get all the good stuff and everything. And when someone puts in a werewolf story and everything,
Yes.
it's just like, oh, you can't write a werewolf story with like death and nuance or like make them humanity and everything. They're supposed to be like these blood-killing murder machines and everything. I'm like,
no, that's like a night a month. Like it's not the like they still gotta go to. That guy's still gotta go to work.
He has to go to work.
did you guys
He woke up naked in the forest this morning, but he has to go to work.
Exactly. And did you guys not watch like The Wolfman with Lon Chaney Jr. and how he's like, oh, God, what is happening to me? And that dread and fear? Like, come on, guys.
Yep. No, I feel you.
Yeah, and so
I feel you.
Yeah, and I'm currently working on like getting that novella turned into a novel and stuff, because Cafe Latte, I was on her podcast and we were talking about stuff, and she's like a published author traditionally and self-published and stuff, and just like talking with her, and like that really kind of like inspired me to be like, hey, we always wanted like our own book to be like published and everything, and like having a book that like you co-wrote is on the shelves, like that's really cool and awesome and everything. But I also want just like a book on the shelf that was just like 100% written by me, to be kind of like, that's my special child. That's my special child. You are my firstborn. I love you equally. But also, I just want something that I was able to like fully curate of my own brain and be like, yay!
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Yeah.
It's yours. It's a special feeling. Like, I did this.
So when was that moment, like, because everyone has like that kind of like moment or that time when you figure out that your thing is your thing. Like, when did you figure out like, oh, I am really good at this, or like I really enjoy this and this is going to be my thing for writing?
For writing and everything, I think I know it was like a point in high school. Yeah, it was high school, because in high school I was a part of the speech team and everything, and like in speech you have all these categories that you can do and stuff. Like, I know in like speech with the different states and all in the US, there are so many vastly different categories you can do and all that stuff. But in Minnesota, there was a category called creative expression and everything and all that stuff. And I was like, me being the budding writer of being like really wanting to like get my work out there, and like I can perform and tell stuff that I've written, sign me up. So doing that and everything was really, really fun. And it was like a whiplash of like how a lot of people were like loving the stuff I was writing for creative expression, and also judges were also being like, here are your rewards for all this because how good you were and stuff. I was like, really? I was like, me? It's Brian Casson gets like, me? Yeah. It was really, really cool and stuff. And I was just like, yeah, it's awesome, and be able to do that and everything. And just like, I just had that hunger and like drive and inspiration to like be able to tell my own stories and everything. Because with like, also with being autistic and everything, I just wanted to be able to be seen in like the favorite medias that I do and stuff. Because like, I know today it's like representation with autism and everything, it's still very much kind of like a hit and miss situation. But like 2012, 2013, when I first found out that I was autistic and everything, it was kind of pretty dry hit and miss and everything and all that.
I've heard the story before, and can I ask you to retell the story, because I fucking love this.
Oh yeah, it's not good. This is like a Batman origin story that must be told every.
It's so good.
Yes, it's like, it's good, but also it's like, that really happened. And not gonna lie, I feel like if my life was turned into a movie or a TV show, it would be like one weird like zany slapstick farce comedy, because that just feels like something out of like a Marx Brothers movie.
Yeah, but actually, it actually does.
Yeah, so here's the origin of how I found out I was autistic, everybody. So I was always aware that I was like a little different and everything and all that stuff. I just thought it was like, oh, hey, this is like who I am personality wise and stuff. But it wasn't until like middle school where I was getting kind of like these modifiers, and I was going to these classes, these special required classes, where like you would get taught like, here are these social cues and how to react with people and everything and all that stuff. Yeah, and then like, especially with the teachers who would kind of treat you like you were like a baby. And like some of my friends were also like in those classes, and we would just look at each other kind of like, what the hell's going on here? Why are they treating us like this? Like, the hell? And it wasn't, when high school came around and stuff, like I still had like a class it was called resources and stuff, but she was like super chill and very much treated us just like actual people while also helping us out, which was like, yeah. But surprisingly enough, it wasn't until sophomore year of high school, I was like 14, 15, when I was looking for a piece to do for speed, for the dramatic categories and everything. and I found this autobiography called "Look Me in the Eyes." It was about a autobiography book about this guy, John Elder Robinson, who was actually like this really cool roadie technician guy who worked with like Kiss in the beginning to like help out with like their flaming guitars and everything and all that stuff. And he was talking about like how he grew up with autism, and like back in the day there wasn't a diagnosis for autism. It was like because a lot of people who were autistic were kind of like were diagnosed with like schizophrenia or like all that stuff and everything. And then he kind of like was this journey and like how his life was and like how his brain was functioning with these reactions. I was like, oh, hey, I do a lot of these things. That's weird. Huh, okay. But I put it aside because I wanted to like
put it in a box for later.
It was pretty much kind of like, oh, okay, put it in the box. And then we went to NFLs, the National Forensic League qualifier rounds and everything for speech, everything, which is like the national tournament for there and everything. And I was like, it was like in between rounds and everything. And then my friend just like pulled me aside and everything. And she just like went up to my face and was like, why didn't you tell me you were autistic? And I just looked at her like, what?
What?
What do you mean?
What do you mean by that?
Because apparently she heard like some teachers talking about me and how they had to like adjust their class schedule and methods because I was in their class and stuff. And I was like, I'm not autistic. Oh, the box. It all kind of like, it was like that click and the box coming to life and being like, yes, you are, and everything. So I was like, okay. And she would just had this look. My friend had this look of horror on her face, like, "Oh my god, I did a boo boo." And yeah,
that's also a crazy thing to just come up to somebody and just say, like, I don't.
Why did you tell me?
Yeah, like I at some point I do get it because we were like close friends and everything, and like I guess she felt like very much of like, hey, we're close friends. How come you didn't tell me about this important information about yourself? But it was like, oh, you didn't know. Oh no, I revealed an important part of your backstory that you didn't even know about. So yeah, when I got back and everything, my grandpa also died from a rare cancer that he didn't tell me nothing about and everything. Apparently, he swore my dad and mom to secrecy because he didn't want me to worry about him and all that stuff. Because he was one of those. My grandpa was very kind of like a emotionally reserved person. He's a old school like Minnesota farm guy and everything. So,
of course.
yeah, and all that. So emotions weren't always like the best way to describe for him and everything. But like found out like he had like a whole bunch of clippings of all my speech meets and stuff. And I was like, oh, why couldn't you display these emotions earlier when you were alive? I was like, damn. But like, so it was kind of awkward trying to find the right time and place after like the funeral and everything to tell my parents, hey, how come you didn't tell me I was autistic? And so I just found a time and ripped the Band-Aid off. And my mom just looked at me with this like shocked and hurt facial expression. It's like, we thought you knew. You were in the meetings. You came with the meetings and we had these discussions. And I was like,
I wasn't paying attention. What the fuck?
Oh, so that's what they were about. Okay. And then I was just like, well, I just like didn't have, again, child. And yeah. Yep. And like, they were very much like, we didn't want you to kind of like be raised with the idea of like, you were autistic and that's all that you were and everything, which was like, yeah, totally get that. I just kind of wish method of finding out would have been a lot more kind of like clearer and like came up without like my friend who was also my ex-girlfriend at the time was like, damn.
Why did
she kind of Luke I am your father to you in that moment.
Ooh.
You have autism. No, that's impossible. It can't be. Look in your eye. No.
Oh my gosh. Yep.
I have to ask because it's one of those things where, like, once you know, you were pretty much saying like things started to make a little bit more sense. But like at this point, you are who you are. So like, it was kind of just like oh yeah, and this. So like, I
Yeah.
don't think it like, did it change much after that? Like, what was this like? Kind of just things started to make more sense afterwards, or like, with that information, did anything change at all, if anything?
I actually felt more whole when I found out that I was autistic, because it was like, it's like that weird thing of like, you know, this person that's in your heart and your head, but they don't have a face and they don't really have a body. They're just completely shadows, and you're trying to figure out like, okay, you're a part of me. We're roommates and everything, so we should get to know each other. And it's like the person is trying to tell you who they are and everything, but you don't have the right knowledge or tools and stuff. And like being able to find that out and give it a name, the names are very powerful things to be able to like make it less scary and more accepting and all that. So it very much was like helpful of like, yeah, this is me. This is you. I am you. Thou art I. Persona style.
Yes.
Clark
You unlocked a
reference. Yeah.
God, that reference hit me so hard. Thank you for that.
Yeah. I love Shin Megami Tensei series so fucking much. Just yes.
Every time the contract comes out, I'm just like, yes.
Yes. But no, it was pretty much like that, and I just felt more whole and happy, and I was like, all right, let's learn more about like this and everything. So it was like that journey of discovery and like kind of like figuring out with like autism, the history, like how very much the community was and stuff, and kind of like realizing there's a lot of like nuance when it comes to things, discussions, and then also finding out like how like there are other members of the autism community that don't get a lot of rep and everything, like with POC, LGBTQIA, trans, and especially femme presenting autistics, everything. It shocked the hell out of me how like they always get misdiagnosed with like with ADHD and not autism and everything. I was like, what the shit? Are you kidding me? Are you kidding me?
It's because it's also one of those things where it seems like only more recently in like the past like 10, like maybe 15 years have we found out, and by we I mean doctors, because I'm not qualified to do shit, but where doctors have finally figured out ways to actually diagnose people, like, one, very early, and two, more accurately. And then also I feel like the internet has done a really good job with that too, just because of the connective nature of social media, where it's like, hey, I feel like this. And then there's also somebody else that feels like that. And then it's almost like internet investigativeness, like, oh yeah, so does this guy over here.
Yeah, it's very cool to see the good side of the internet, of being kind of like helping out and being like, kind of like, I like to say the Autism Council of very much a person coming in like, hey, I have these kind of like things and qualities about myself. You just have like the Autism Council like, all right, let's just link up brains together and do the neuro wave. All right, so these qualities are something that does happen with a lot of other autistics and stuff, especially with some here, especially Jeff here. Hi. And so you might want to get that looked up and everything. We know that, and we also know that getting an official autism diagnosis and test is ridiculously expensive. I think, like in the US, it's like can be ranged to like at most like $2,000, which is like, so it's like very much of like, yeah, you're it's like you're with us, you're with us, homie. It's all good.
Come on over here. We
also
Yeah.
I must say, it's not bad company to have. I mean, the best voice actor in the world currently, Jennifer English, is in that same categories.
Dude,
yeah, you didn't hear her Game Award speech?
Oh, that's right. I was like, hold on. My brain was like, tuning in. Was like radio tuning. Like, oh, that's right. Oh God, the Game Awards feels so long ago.
It really does, and it really wasn't. That's the thing.
It does feel so long ago. Jeez.
Yeah. So like when you have people like that and like yourself that are in the community, they're doing these amazing things. It's almost like, hey, I'm also this is just one thing that is a characteristic of me. Yeah. And there are also people that have the same characteristic that are going on to do really great stuff. Yeah. And a lot of them creatively.
Yeah. There's always like, go ahead.
Oh no. It definitely there has been a lot more representation. So
Yeah.
it's nice to see things like that, because like you said, you're like, oh, this has a name, this has a thing. I feel like I belong to something now, and like bringing awareness for that is huge. So
Yeah.
it's dope, especially when you can still completely be yourself and like and stuff. Like it's nice. It's nice to see that.
Yeah. I always strive to like do that representation and like be able to help out, because having a platform and everything is like using it for good and like pointing the spotlight on like other things that have been like underrepresented, and like giving sure they have the spotlight to speak, and that way that can build up for them to have their stage to be able to like do the things to their stuff. That's what I very much learned with like D&D TikTok storytelling, and having people discuss and hearing things of like people's point of views from different communities and cultures talking about storytelling. And that really opened my brain to being like, right, yeah, I don't have a lot of like queer characters or like non-binary characters and everything. And so I was like, my brain was very much kind of like working and doing the homework of like, okay, let's work on these characters and like very much make new characters that have those as in the root of the bakery for the dough and everything. I hope that makes sense. That was like a kind of like a partial.
Got it. We're there.
I understand it a lot, actually, because like my entry into like kind of like the fantasy genre was more from a mythological standpoint, from like Greek mythology and Norse mythology, and like the stories of all of like the heroes of Olympus and things like that. And even back then, those stories, especially for their time, were extremely, I don't want to say like proactive, but they were more accepting, especially with like different cultures, with like gender fluidity and different lifestyles and things like that. But like when it comes to fantasy and things like that, I was a little bit confused when people were saying that it wasn't inclusive enough, because I was just like, everything fantasy seems like it would be the most inclusive. Like like whenever you think of the magical, I think like the least magical thing about it would be that dude likes a dude. Like it's just one of those things.
It's there. Like, all right.
But then again, I also had to be like, because that's like kind of like my personal bias, where it was something that I kind of expected, but then I had to realize like not everybody has that same perspective, because there's some people who are just like, nah, man, I'm just here for the dragons. It's like, oh,
yeah, and there's nothing wrong with like just coming in for the dragons, but it's like, you gotta know
so
like,
many other things that are just so many other incredible stories.
Yeah. I think that's when people realize with a lot of like coding with like writing and stuff, how it's like, wait, hold on. They've always been like that? And it's like, yeah, like look at the Hays Code from like early golden age of Hollywood, everything. Like those brilliant bastards had to like work around so many crazy shit and restrictions of censorship. Like fucking hell. Like if you look at like old films with today's eyes and knowing like the code and signs, you'll be very much be able to like hold up.
This is checking a box.
It was kind of like, oh, they're just saying the quiet part, but nobody knew to look for it.
Exactly.
It was kind of thing, because it was one of those things where I was surprised that people didn't know it was there, because it's like the same thing that people do now, where there's people today in the year of 2026 that are just like, Star Wars was political, and I'm just like, oh buddy, oh brother,
Here Star Wars,
life,
X-Men, a lot of comics, like that wasn't political.
there was a message in there, you just missed it.
That saddens me very much, because like, of course it was political. It was pretty obvious. Even as a kid, I knew like, okay, yeah, fascism bad and everything. Yeah, fuck the empire and all that stuff. The hell!
But then there was somebody out there. There's somebody out there that was just like, no, they were just trying to put up like luxury apartments on those poor desolate planets. Like, what do you mean? Yes, that's right.
God,
Oh.
I still remember that interview that James Cameron and George Lucas did, and how James I was actually impressed of how the rebels very much had these military tactics from real life people, and George was like, oh yeah, I based them off the Viet Cong with how the U.S. were invading them and how they were Viet Cong people were running circles around them. And he just said it so casually without a moment of hesitation. It's just my man, my goat.
How did you not get this? Did you read this? Did you read it? Did you?
It's really hard to every story has there's always a message in there. It's just whether or not you saw it, because you even as a writer, as a creative, you impart yourself into your work or your inspirations into your work. So there's no way that message doesn't get conveyed. It's just whether or not the person chooses to see past the really cool Empire uniforms. Yeah. Which were kind of a sign in and of themselves.
Ask the lightsabers. Ask the lightsabers. The blasters.
It's so it makes me scared, especially of how anti-intellectualism is very much rising with media and everything. But I do love that now very much, or people are just going grabbing the bats, grabbing the flamethrowers, placing them on the table, and you want to say that again, motherfucker? we'll beat the shit out of you if you try to say, oh, it's not, the curtains are just blue. They're blue for a reason.
It's because I feel like people are finally done doing the whole, because there was a moment, I think, after, because COVID put a lot of people indoors that normally weren't indoors. So we got a lot of really cool stuff from COVID, but then along with that really cool stuff, there were a couple people that weren't used to being inside. So when they were inside, they were discovering all of these things for the first time. I discovered D&D around COVID. I didn't know what it was. And I also discovered a lot of my favorite APs that I watched during COVID and around that time, because I just had all this free time. I need to fill it with something. So there's a lot of people that are coming in for the first time, and they're seeing all of these things for the first time. They're seeing all this media for the first time. And they're just oh yeah, this ain't it. They're the phrase, it ain't that deep, just kept coming up and kept coming up. And I'm just you just got here. That's the thing.
Welcome.
Yeah.
Welcome to this wonderful thing.
Yeah. Yeah, welcome to this wonderful thing. It is that deep. We need to use more of your brain here and all that stuff. Use the limitless drug and everything. It's okay. You can use this drug and everything, and then the more you use it, your body will be able to naturally be limitless, at the end of the movie for some weird reason. I've never understood that part. It was that felt like the weird cop out ending of
they lost the plot a little bit.
They lost
the plot a little bit.
Well, now they're limitless, so
we're all limitless.
We're all limitless now. They created new limits now.
My gosh.
Lordy.
It circles back. We found them. We found the limits.
Yeah.
So
that's great.
So the other part that we haven't touched on very much at all, and this is the part that I'm the most curious about, because it's the thing that I personally know nothing about.
Okay.
You are an actual performer. You're theatrically trained. You've been in plays. You've performed. Hi. That's my kid. So, tell us about that side of Dice and Autism.
Oh God, there's something just magical about theater. Truly, it's that live connection and reaction you get with the audience, and being able to have these collaborative things of their play with the director, other actors, and just be able to discuss with your character and where to go and where to take it and all that stuff. It was so great and good, and I just wanted more. As soon as when middle school hit and everything, after middle school, I was all right, I'm done with these comedies all these musical comedies. I'm done with them. And I was already getting burnt out on musicals in general, because it was the only kind of theater I could do in my town and everything. So I was just like, I just want straight plays, just like dramatic pieces and all that stuff. So I was just kind of like really looking and searching for all that and everything. And in our town, everything, in our town that I lived in, the University of North Dakota was like just like across the bridge and everything. So we had like people from UND coming into our theater to do our show to like help us direct our high school shows and everything. And I would always be kind of like in the back, everything after performance would be done, after rehearsal would be done, and be like, hey, can I pick your brain for a little bit? And I'd be frothing at the mouth when we would do our one-act competitions and everything and be able to tell these cool and interesting stories along with it. And I was just hungry for more and all that. And like getting to like college was very much like the eye-opening of like, this is what theater can be with all the possibilities and stuff and all that. And my first round of college was... It was fun. I did learn a lot of things. Unfortunately, though, the college I went to, one of the directors was very much had like their favorites that they would cast and do and everything. And also, they were pretty relentlessly hard when it came to like their audition process. They were very much like, okay, look, the real world of theater, it's going to be hard and cruel with the auditions. So we're going to reflect that into our auditions for college here, but we're going to make that 10 times more difficult, and you have to be superly overly professional. And that would give me so much anxiety and dread, because I just wanted to be part of some of the shows and stuff. And I was still able to get some shows and stuff. Like I was like in Almost Maine and everything, which I freaking love. Almost Maine is a great, wonderful play and everything. I have both the play version and the novel version on my shelf. Just go check that out and stuff. And like other plays in general, but it was just like too much pressure. We're still college students. And then I had my autism burnout, which was not fun. And then a few later, after recovering and everything, I was like, I want to give college another try and everything. So I went to another one, which my parents went to, and it was really good. It was a lot more laid back, and it wasn't as cutthroat as the first one. Like everyone wanted to like support each other. Everyone was also offering like critiques and like helping out their first one. Well, in my first college, it was very much like I would still have like good friends who were very much just like want to help out, but there would also be these people of just like, you get in my way for this role and everything, I will destroy you. I will bury your ashes. No one will find the remains. It's like, Jesus Christ. And so it was cool. And like, also, the professors were also like, you can come into our offices whenever you want. You can also call us by our first names and just have discussions of what you want to do and fix and everything. And I was like, they were like, we know the real world is going to be like a little bit more hard, but we're going to like be able to like translate it into like a nice, gentler approach. And through there and everything, I was able to do some professional theater with them while being paid and stuff and everything. I was able to pay... Yeah, like there will be like these summer theater programs where summer stock theater programs where very much the deal is you would have like 5 to 6 different types of shows be done within like 7 weeks. Like you would have a certain amount of time to like rehearse and everything, and then all the shows would go bam, 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 and all that stuff, which was like bananas.
That sounds like a lot. That sounds like a whole lot.
It's a lot, and I don't recommend it for everyone. I don't recommend it for every theater person, because there will be some summer stock theaters that will have you very much be also a part of like helping out with tech crew, with costuming and lighting and stuff. And I was very much raised with the theater that you respect the tech crew, you respect them, you work with them, you honor them, because without them you just be doing a black box theater show with your just black t-shirt, your bottleneck, I was gonna say bottle, like turtleneck,
Gotcha.
Your turtleneck t-shirt and just like looking the light dramatically and all that. There wouldn't even be a light because there's no people operating the light board and everything. But there would be some like I met some people in those summer stock theaters who would just be kind of like, why am I doing this? Why shouldn't like the tech crew be doing this and stuff? And I'm just like, my brother in Christ.
My brother in Christ.
We are just the bones. They are the organs. They are the flesh. They are the brains. They are the eyeballs. They are the literal heart. Without them, we've got nothing.
Yep.
So
Yep.
it could be a dark, cold room, a bunch of us just standing in it.
Exactly. It's like, if you want, you can just like, do your monologue and one-man shows via like your camera and everything. Go ahead. Like YouTube and TikTok have shown that you can do it. But like, I know it's like every theater and summer stock program has their own like methods of doing that. And I feel like if you're going to be a theater person, you got to have to know a little bit of everything. It doesn't matter if you're very much just like, oh, I just want to do acting, or I just want to do directing, or I just want to do tech. You got to know a little bit of all the aspects to work, so that way you have the respect and like understanding of what goes on, so that way you can be like, yeah, totally, I understand, and be able to like help in and pitch in with people who need to do and all that stuff.
Yep.
That just makes as a non-theater kid, that just makes the most sense, because like I don't know, because me and Al both have a mechanics background, so like
we know what goes into it.
So
like, y'all get in here and you mess my stuff up, and then you just, hey, sorry, I broke this.
Because we do because like sometimes we do something similar where like we'll go to fix something as a mechanic, and we'll just be like, oh, this broke, I have to order another one. And then the new guy, there's always somebody new that's still learning how to do the job, and they're just like, oh yeah, the supply people suck, man, we never have what we need. And I'll just pull them aside. I'm like, never stop. Don't say that shit out loud. Don't you ever say it.
Yep.
I was like,
go sit in the corner. Go sit in the corner.
I was like, you will have nothing. Life will be very hard for you if you keep saying shit like that. And I have to be near you. So no, don't say that shit.
Go think about the dark magic you did to them. Oh, but only just a little bit.
Yep. See.
Bring the supply guy cookies tomorrow. That's what's happening. You ask him if he needs anything.
Go get his lunch right now. Go get his lunch.
Yep.
Just because.
Because guess what? It's summer right now. It's going to be winter eventually. You want a jacket? That's the guy who gets the jackets, all right?
You don't want the holes in your boots to let the water in? Yeah. Make sure you do it. Treat them right.
100%.
Exactly.
That's crazy. That's wild.
Yeah. No, I've always loved theater in general. I do have like some issues with theater and everything, because like I think every like art and everything has their bumps and everything that do need to be fixed and everything. And for me, theater very much, it's like the weird piece of time of like, we want to stick with like the old school elements of what makes theater cool and everything, but also like we're gonna like just be, I don't want to say like for the elite and everything, because Broadway and like how crazy expensive the tickets can be to see those shows and everything. Yeah. Because I'm very much in the camp of like, hey, record pro shots for your shows and everything. Every new production, whether it's a straight play or a musical, should have at least one recording of pro shots done and everything, just for people who aren't able to afford like tickets to go to New York and then possibly get like an okay seat to like see the people in the show do the thing. And like how like there'll be some people be like, well, no, that ruins the magic of theater. Like, I'm sorry, theater needs to evolve. You can't keep doing the same.
You want people to see the theater?
Exactly. And all that. Like,
that's how Tyler Perry made all his money. That's 100% how that's how it happened. He was because he knew not everybody was making it out to go see those plays. Yeah. It's like you can like have so much good things and like be able to do so like get more people involved in seeing shows and stuff and all that stuff. And it's just like that ruins the magic of theater, of like seeing a live performance. Yeah, if you want to see live performance in your towns and everything, support your community theaters and everything, and your regional theaters and all that stuff. But just like, it's weird how like theater will also be kind of like, we're progressive, and theater is pretty progressive when it comes to things. But also, it's also weird how they kind of like stick with like some of like the main stories of certain things and don't really want to like
advance or push the button to like, all right, we've already established these things and stuff with with other stories and stuff. Let's take it up a notch in a direction here and all that. Cause like, I don't know, like that's always the vibe I've seen with theater and all, when like I love, because with Broadway and everything, there's also off Broadway, which is kind of like the how I like to call off-right is like the more artistic younger brother who's not afraid to be a little weird and everything.
Yeah.
Damn.
Yeah. Like, I feel like Broadway is like pop music. Off-Broadway is like pop punk or anything. Maybe not pop punk.
I would say like kind of like an indie band, kind of like
Yeah, kind of like it's the indie rock and everything. They're not afraid to get weird. They're not afraid to experiment and stuff and everything. And it's like that's always cool to see the people from off Broadway being able to tell these stories and like go off in that. And I'm just like, I love you, theater. I love theater, but there are just some elements we have to update the furniture, update the hardware.
Can't stay where you're at.
Exactly.
You can't stay where you're at.
We're working with the ColecoVision for our only console of video game, guys. We have PCs, Switches, PS5s, Xbox, Steam Decks. Come on, guys.
Something. Give us something. No,
Exactly.
There's another part of it that I agree with you for, because like as a parent, I have a 2-year-old. I can't get out that much. So like it would be really nice if I could see a show without having to be there in person, because like I don't think you want me there in person. I don't think you want my 2-year-old running around the theater. To be honest with you.
Yeah.
Oh man.
Oh yeah,
that's
definitely.
Rough. That's rough time.
Yeah. And like that's why I like really like pro shots and like pro shots for like recording stuff. And that's how I also feel how like actual plays are like the next evolution for like theater and Broadway to be real and everything, because when you look at like how many actual plays that you can catch on the like Twitch or like YouTube or podcast and everything, and it's so accessible, a form of art that people that can like watch and enjoy and like do and everything. I'm just here looking like, guys, you want people to be more in the butts of theater and tickets and stuff, you gotta be accessible. Increasing prices do not like guarantee the quality of shit and everything. I think we've all seen how that's sort of like a bold-faced lie and stuff. Like accessibility is actual quality of like a measurement for art and stuff.
Yep.
Yeah.
Plus, also with that too is like if you have somebody who can record and do that, they might really be into theater too.
Yeah.
And they just don't get that part, but they still want to be involved and do what they can to show, like, hey, this is something good. Let me help share this. Like, man, you got the sound guys, you got somebody doing cameras, lights. Everybody has a role to play. So definitely keep expanding on that, because you keep it enclosed, and then it's kind of just like, hey, the same people are going to keep on coming. And then what happens when they're not around anymore? Who's going to see this?
Yeah, how many people are going to be watching the new Broadway show where this is like an adaptation from one flash of a pan show from the 80s or 90s that either someone was like, yeah, that was a good movie, or it was like okay, we're good, and then it's all of a sudden like, this is the new show to bring in the new people and everything. It's like, guys,
you kind of missed the train on that one.
Exactly.
You definitely missed the train.
Could they expand it?
Because also there's a like with like closing that door and not like kind of like letting in like what you were talking about with the natural evolution of things. Because like even with like APs, the APs that I enjoy the most are the ones that have the full range of sound design and like the high like production quality, like your Dimension 20s and your Critical Roles. But you also have like other people that do that, like AARPG. Like I picked the brain of, when we were on their show, I was picking their brain about their sound design because it was really good, and he was just like, oh no, I do this. Like he was like, this is my thing, and he just started like showing me like all the things he does. He makes all of his own sounds. Like he's not buying sound packs, he's making them.
Yeah.
And like you can see the passion, you can see the love, and you can see how it's translated. And like I'm not saying that like every AP needs a sound design guy, but you really benefit from having one because it's transformative. It really is.
Yeah. It adds a nice texture of the things and just kind of like makes it even more good and stuff. Like I think people forget of like how like Matthew Mercer and Brendan Lee Mulligan very much like are able to do like these cool sound effects, especially Matthew Mercer of being able to make these noises.
Oh,
and sound
He's a
effects.
real human. Matthew Mercer is.
You're not real.
He's at least like 3 little people in a trench coat because like it
Little
just
Rascal
doesn't.
style.
It doesn't make sense. It doesn't make sense the amount of like you shouldn't get that many voices out of one human. Like I'm just saying. It's
Yeah, the sounds. Some of the sounds are crazy. Like you hear it, you're just like,
Yeah.
how can I do that?
Yeah. You just
Oh.
you just gotta practice you just gotta practice and just being kind of like, all right, no guilt, no shame. What noises can we make here? And just being like, ooh, I can like put that for that and everything, and how they're able to do things and all that stuff. And I think very much with like how Dimension 20 just kind of like lets themselves add in like this like the special effects when it comes to like certain things and running gags that the cast will say and everything. It's like, yeah, that's nice, that's cool, and everything, and all that. And like with how Matthew Mercer does with Critical Role, DMing is very much kind of like, all right, I'm gonna get you all sucked in of just like how I'm just like doing this cool one-man show, and then being like, what do you guys do as well, and everything, kind of like, come on in. Yeah.
Yeah, because that's kind of what kind of like drew me towards D&D was like I love a good story. I really do. And it's the
story.
I do love a good horror story.
Don't let him fool you.
That's look, okay. I am more than just the scary stories. I do other things besides scary stories. Okay, I do.
Yes, I know. This is your
Okay,
favorite.
it's just
I'm just saying. I'm keeping the record straight. It's your favorite, so I got called out when it's your favorite. Yeah, good stories.
I'm just sitting here sipping popcorn, watching this happen. I was like, should I be here right now?
I do like a good scary story. I do.
Yeah, same here.
But like I love a story in which I can't tell what's going to happen next, and that is what's so amazing about actual plays and things like that, is that the unpredictability of the storytelling is my favorite part of the storytelling. I don't want to know what happens next. I have a really bad habit of guessing. And all of these people in this room are now unforeseen variables of the storytelling, so I can't guess what happens next. And I love that.
Yeah, it's always cool to see the stories being told and then being able to go with that chaos and just very much kind of like, all right, going this way. Okay, cool. And I just love the classic Matthew Mercer gift of him taking a piece of paper and just ripping it up in front of them. I like, it's serious. And everyone going, no! Like, wanting to know what was that extra bit, and like seeing like the cast interviews and chats with them, each other, and having those discussions of like the what if possibilities, and then having the DM being like, all right, and just kind of like opening up their book. So this was supposed to happen.
The amount of times we've heard that. The way this was supposed to go.
That has happened to me a few times. So
what was one of the stories where you were just like, what was one where you're like, this is something that I think this is going to go really, really well. You had everything planned out, and then everybody just decided that a left turn was necessary.
That's a good question and everything. Because with Neurolists and everything, I pulled in the deck of many things just because, like, this is gonna be hilarious. I know. I know.
It's
the deck of many things will either go of like two ways of like hey, really good, really bad. And I was like, okay, I'm just gonna put this in the magic item shop here. They're gonna go in. It's kind of be kind of like a wink, wink, nudge, nudge. And then I was like, this is how we're gonna have this money and stuff. But they were able to get the money and a discount with a good persuasion check. I think. I remember correctly. I don't remember to watch the VOD of it just to get the details correct. But I was like, okay, they have the deck. They're not actually gonna like pull the deck of many things, are there? Because I was like, well, it was like very much like when my brain went like, all right, they pulled the deck, they have the deck in them. Let's put the deck into the story somehow. We'll fix it, but we're gonna put that seed in there. It's kind of like, all right, well, burp. I was just like kind of like gnashing at my nails of like them pulling like a card and everything. I was like, because there's so many bad cards out there. I was like, oh god, how do we do this? How do we do this? And I think the first card that they pulled and everything was the moon, which is the wish spell. Yep.
I have to ask, was this in this wasn't like a short campaign, was it? Was this like the longer ongoing one?
New Rollis is the longer going. This New Rollis.
Please no.
You said, "Oh, please no."
Well, I was very much like,
"It's great."
All right, cool. Let's see where we go. So, one of the characters wish for their. I think one of the characters wished for Attack on Morgan's character, Zelvi, for her mom to come back to life and everything. And they had like this really touching reunion. It was nice. And I was like, okay, consequences have actions though, and everything. So yes. I had it that when a little homebrew character that was a god and everything, his name is Jin, he's the god of chaos and everything. He was impersonating the Raven Queen for a while and everything. And when it was revealed... when it was revealed that it was like, hey, surprise! It wasn't actually the Raven Queen that brought back the wish spell and everything. It was me! And then B's character, Mila, B does D&D is her username and stuff. She was like, oh, so I didn't actually get my full wish then. And I was like, oh god, wait, hold on. I was like, you're technically right.
You did.
You're technically right. So I was like, all right, let's roll percentile dice here. And they rolled the number that was in the range and stuff. I was like, fuck. I was like, okay, this is what we're going to do here. You're going to get like a half, you're going to not get the full 9th level spell. You're going to get like that half version of like a 5th level spell and like a 5th level's wish and everything. So Mila was like, all right, Jin, I wish for you to be bound by me. Kind of like be put in like a little like canary bird cage and everything. And I was like, okay, he's a god. There's no way he's gonna fail the save and everything. And I failed the save. And I was like, oh, fuck, they have like a god. So I was like, okay, well, he's in this prison. He doesn't have his full god-like abilities. And like, it turned out to be this like really cool, great story of the like best. Very much this little cool arc and character journey with the god of chaos, Jin, of being like this immature, emotionally stunted little shit, very much, and kind of like growing and being like, yeah, I'm sorry for being a little shit and everything, and also vibing with Mila very much so, and kind of like, and then Mila was like, all right, I'm gonna let you go, but you gotta promise me to be good. And Jin was like, yeah, totally. And so the way being good and everything,
what a shame.
That was like, I'm gonna start my own religion and everything. And also, you, Mila, you're gonna be our honorary like bishop and everything and all that. That happened to like during like a little mini like time skip. It was like a 6-month time skip and everything. And then I had that like in my notes and everything. And when that was revealed, everyone was like, the hell? And I was just like tickling his DM.
I can give you one of mine because there were several, all and part of the same campaign. I've talked about them before because they have.
You're welcome.
They have a habit of doing. So they blame me. Okay, they blame me like I'm the one that's like constantly just like, oh yeah, I'm just almost gonna kill you. It'll be cool. You'll come back even stronger. It's great. You know, Super Saiyan art.
Oh
but
no!
It's not my fault because like. In the beginning, they played with no fear at all. There was none. There was no fear in the beginning. And everybody wanted to touch all of the things until consequences happen because you touch the thing, right? So I've talked.
Before this goes, when the party starts to do something and you're the only one like, no, don't do that. Then it's just like, all right, let's go. We're all in. Go ahead.
Yeah.
If I
Please
ask
continue.
you 3 times if you want to do something and you still do it, you're along for the ride. I did my
gosh.
job. I've conveyed concern. You just didn't get it.
But it's also like the teenager of like, I'm gonna do it anyways because he told me not to do it. So obviously that something bad's gonna happen, but I could have a chance to be able to get away scot-free. So
Yeah.
There's that chance.
So early on in the campaign, maybe like session 3, and this is still like prologue. We haven't even gotten into the first story arc. They all almost died.
It was insane. It was insane.
Really, really bad. And it wasn't meant to be that bad because I thought in my head that, okay, we've been playing for a while now. This isn't our first campaign as a group, but this is the first campaign that we've recorded. So like, they kind of know me. I know them. I got my apartment space rented in their brain. Okay, I know how to root around in there and move stuff where I want. So the encounter was meant, before I get into the details, the encounter was meant for them to realize what was going on and run. That was it. I planned maybe 1 or 2 of them would have to do a couple rounds of combat. Then they realize that the numbers aren't numbering and that everything is going to get real bad. But they didn't. They didn't. So pretty much it was kind of like a play on a story about like succubus, except for it's like a Astral Odyssey is kind of like a Spelljammer story that's set like in astral space, and they got pulled into like this different realm's gravity, and then they crashed on like this island, and it was supposed to be like kind of like mysterious island with this where there's these people in the forest, and they're all like really beautiful and tempting and shit. And then everybody didn't get the cue that maybe the island full of hot people is probably dangerous. And so they did what everybody else would do, right? They followed the hot people into the forest, and then they started partaking in the fruit that the hot people offered them, and the fruit was making them feel weird, and it was altering their memory.
Feel weird.
Not the source.
Yes.
So then they ended up grabbing other people from the shore that were supposed to be fixing the ships, and then all of them were just gonna fuck off in the forest and go have a party with all of these mysterious hot people.
No.
If you're familiar with some of Neil Gaiman's work, I can't remember what the name of the story is. I think it's Neverwhere, where they were talking about the velvets, like those people who didn't have their own warmth, and they attach to you and they steal your warmth, and once they're attached, like you have to remove the skin. So that's pretty much what I based all of these characters off of. They were all kind of like these succubus velvet things. Their skin kind of like attaches to yours. It sucks the warmth out of you. And then whenever they remove their hand, you like sprout into these flower type of things, and then you turn into a tree, and then that tree bears fruit, and those fruit is your memories. And then if you eat the fruit, then you pretty much get to see that person's memories, and they replace your own.
Damn.
So all of these things are happening, and I have been completely transparent about everything except for what the hot people are.
Yeah.
Was I not? Was I not? You guys just like hearing the flashbacks. So they get into this place, and then the first thing I do, because I want it to be 100% like clear that this is not a good idea to stay, I explain that there is a lot of them. There's a lot of them, and then I also like, it's a party, so there's drinking, there's people that are like splitting off. All of these we'll just call them velvets. All of the velvets are like grabbing the crewmen, they're feeding them these fruit, they're having these like weird flashbacks and like having this state of euphoria. And as this is happening, I always stress that there are a lot of them and that you guys are very far from the shoreline.
Oh no.
But they don't know they're in danger yet. But I'm just kind of planting that seed subconsciously. So then I start to try to separate them just to see if they will, because I was like, okay, let's see how bad I can make the situation. So Terry, of course,
it was real bad.
Terry
It was
separated immediately. I described this beautiful light-skinned character, and he immediately was like, I'm going, take me wherever you want, right?
Oh no.
Then Mr. Okay, I got my shit together over here. That guy, Al, I got him to separate too. He followed a young lady up a clock tower.
Oh dang.
Very far away from everyone
It was
else.
intentional. Listen.
Okay.
I started plotting. He said, "This is what we're doing." I said, "Okay, I'm gonna plot back. Let me plot back. Just because."
So they all kind of like separate, except for one person who is truly skeptical.
Yeah.
And he was like, I'm kind of just gonna sit in the middle area by myself with my drink, and I'm just gonna scope the place out. So pretty much as they're there for a while, and everybody's starting to get well and drunk, and then people are starting to get handsy and stuff like that, they're all separated, except for through a series of really bad rolls. Terry, who was separated the furthest away from the group, into because it was kind of like set up like an abandoned town in a way.
Okay.
So he got pulled off to like a bathhouse, and he's like in the bathhouse. So even if he's yelling, people can barely hear him.
Oh no.
So he can't get above a 3.
Oh no.
In any of his roles, and she is literally draining the life from him, and he is literally like on death's door. And there was a moment where, because his character was like a real tough guy, he's like I'm not gonna ask for help ever. So there's a moment where I kind of like slowed things down, and I was like, look, you feel the roots coming from her going into your veins as the coldness is moving through your body, as flowers start to sprout out through your body. You feel it's painful. There's thorny vines. And with the last amount of breath that you have left, will you call out for help? And he legitimately had to think about it. He was like,
Who gonna help me?
Fine. And he finally did it, and that was the only thing that saved him. But when
save me!
And
my god!
It's like this really intense moment, and then that's when like all of them kind of like flip, and they start attacking all of like the pirates and stuff that came with them. The people are trying to like rip the velvets off of them, and it's like ripping their skin with them. It's very gruesome, very scary. And then the part that I wanted to happen was that they were going to run. They didn't. They stayed and fought, and it was
I didn't
real.
have dash. I didn't have dash.
Real bad.
I did not. It was rough.
Everyone almost died. Pretty much like the madam of like these like creatures was like this giant kind of like Venus flytrap monster type thing. She grabbed up one of the characters that was stuck inside of her like a Venus flytrap. And it was real bad. They got out of it, but it was terribly bad. And after the session was over, I was like, oh, all of that was great. Thank you for all of that. You guys really did that shit. We made it exciting. But I
sent off the signal. I let everybody know something was going down. Listen, I had to let them know first. Like, hey, here's this little signal. Look at this signal.
No one knew because they snuck off into the forest. No one on the shore knew that they were there. No one knew where to come save them. So like anything happens to them out there, they're by themselves. And I was like, why didn't any of you run? And they were like, I forgot it was a choice.
You get caught up. We were in the story. We were caught up in the story. That's where we were.
Exactly.
Until something turned giant and started trying to kill us.
Yeah.
And then they ran.
Yeah, like you just like running is a free action and everything. It's a free action. I like to say that. And I know how D&D doesn't have the best mechanics when it comes to like to run away, since there's so many abilities and stuff where it's like, no, you don't, and everything. But I feel very much of like being able to like, all right, you know what? You guys want to run away? Cool. Here's the button. Bam.
It's
It's
always an option. It's just an option that's seldom taken because like I get why you don't run. I really do. I get it because like I make this really badass character. Like, I love my paladins, and if I don't do anything during the session, I'm gonna fucking smite something.
He gon' smite. He gon' smite.
If I don't do anything else during this session, not a
Smiting
charisma
will
roll,
happen.
not a fucking intimidation roll, I'm gonna smite something.
I'm a.
So I get it, but like
Yeah.
and it's just one of those things. And then after that session, they were just like, okay, let's be a lot more careful. But then they
He's
were
trying to
careful
kill
in the
us.
wrong direction.
Yeah.
It happens. I mean,
Yeah.
it's the ebb and flow. You got to.
Exactly.
You got to.
Like, yeah, it's like you. Some things you're just gonna like go with the flow and all that stuff. I kind of had a situation like that happen with New Rollis as well and everything, where I had something in mind and everything, but like after like a big like NPC character death, and everyone was like, "All right, we're gonna all like separate and do our own like way of grieving and moments and stuff." And I'm like,
My God. Oh.
that's a bad time. That's a bad time. And it led to like a series of like great episodes. They were intense and everything. We did have our first player character's death in that campaign, which was like, I was like trying so hard to like, okay, hold on. But everybody gave me the clear of like, we know it's okay. You can kill our character here. This is like the end of the camp. We're getting near the end of the campaign here. Final arc and everything. Gloves off, and I'm just like, okay. And it's like it happened, and I was just like, it's like how Fujimoto from Chainsaw Man was like, God, why didn't that guy didn't give Rise and Denji like a happy life? And everyone was just looking at him like, you wrote it. I felt like that. It's like,
Let
why
me
did I
tell
do
you
this?
It can't be.
It's
The scorpion and the frog. It can't be. It's just in his nature. It just
the
can't
character
be.
death that we experienced hit crazy.
Yeah.
It hit crazy because
Our
we just had.
two are not comparable.
Mhm.
I don't know the circumstances of your character death, but I can promise you they're a lot more different than mine.
Oh,
Okay.
man.
Because
It hit.
if you'd like to compare notes real quick, you go.
Yeah.
If you don't have to like give us this full spoilery version.
Yeah,
You can
yeah,
be
yeah.
as detailed about it as you want to be.
Yeah, because with one of the main characters, one of the NPCs that died, he was kind of like his name was Dick Angelo. He was a kind of like a detective like guy working with the police of New Orleans and stuff. But he was realizing, but he was also like the big father figure for the crew and everything, since they were all kind of like a little bit like a chaotic group and everything.
He was
Yeah.
Uncle Ben.
It was pretty much
Dang.
Uncle Ben.
Mm.
He brought them to like his family and met his wife, and he and his wife also have like a whole bunch of adopted kids and everything. Just so many, and they
He was
had
a
like
good man.
he was, and he was also very much like doing his own investigation. Oh god! But he was also doing his own investigation with like the baddie group and everything called the Founding Fathers. I'd be like, oh wait, hold on, there's like some people pulling the strings here, and like was realizing, crap, some shit's going on here. You know what? I'm gonna quit the force here. I'm gonna quit the police, the fantasy police in here of New Rollis. I'm gonna just make sure everyone stays safe and stuff. And so I was very much like, all right, how do we set out the intensity of this final arc where there are no gloves off? You know, kill your favorite the party's favorite NPC. So I did kind of like, we move away to a different scene here, and the character died. Everything was they delivered like this emotional message that was programmed to like go off, and they died and stuff. And everyone went off and do their thing. So what was supposed to happen was that there was going to be kind of like a sneak attack on their home base, which was this tavern called the Blind Dragon and stuff. But when everyone started to go their own way, just to like give space and all that stuff, I was like, so Zelvi, Attack on Morgan's character, I had to roll the perception check, and she saw the group coming in disguised to be like those overly performing drunk people, and saw they were like from the baddies. So like, all right, cool, and all that stuff, and like the dominoes just kept piling. They were all like, it was like mass chaos. I had them roll initiative, and they were all in different parts of the town and everything. It was just so chaotic. And like B's character, Mila, she was going one-on-one with the dudes, with of the groups, so the baddies group, like right-hand person, Rose Evelyn, and like it was a scrapping fight and everything, but Rose very much would kind of like, all right, coming with us, okay, use a tuning fork, plane shifted to their base in the Nine Hells, and very much had like a whole bunch of other members of the baddies group kind of like armed to the teeth and ready to go. And I was just like, what do you do? What do you think? And it was just like this like a touching last thoughts moment. And I was like keeping it together. I was like, I will not cry. I will not cry. Everyone else is crying right now, but I'm also like, I'm not gonna cry, because if I cry, if the DM cries or anything, we're gonna have to take like an hour break here.
Get out of here. Oh man, yep.
We have grief counselors on standby. It's okay.
Yep.
So we can talk about how we feel about this.
Yeah.
No.
Yeah.
Yeah. Our circumstances were a lot more different, just because. So our initial group was 5 people, myself, and then 4 players. Then it expanded to 6 people, but one of the initial people that was there from the beginning, he had switched shifts. He gotten a promotion. So we normally record either on Saturdays or Sundays. He works like pretty much the entire weekend. His only days off are like Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, which is it just wasn't doable. And we were trying to schedule things in the background for a while, and it just wasn't working. And I was like, well, what would you like me to do? I was like, I can write your character off on an errand that he might not come back from. But like, I was like, what do you want me to do? And he was like, honestly, honestly, however you want to take me out of this story, I respect your decision. And I said,
bet.
If you say that, I was like, I'm going to kill your character. I was like, I'm going to kill your character. I'm going to use your character as a martyr. I'm going to make the group real angry, because it was getting close to like the season finale. And I was like, so that way they can just go into the season finale, hearts broken, real angry. Like everybody's just not going to waste anything. They're just going to completely nobody's going to try to talk down the bad guy in this fight. So he was like, however you decide to do it is up to you. And I was like, so you don't want to know ahead of time? And he was like, no, I want to find out when I watch it.
Man.
I was like, okay, I got you. So in the previous, in 2 episodes before, they fought this, pretty much like the second in command. It was like this vampire mafia type thing. They fought this second in command in this really dramatic, train car fight where it was like these sky rails, and they were jumping across the sky rails fighting, and they were knocking him off the tracks. And it pretty much ended with them kicking him off of one of the rail cars into the city. So they all watch him as far as they can see him, and they all just assume he's dead, because nobody could survive a fall from that height.
I don't know if they all is the correct.
Most people assumed that he was dead, but with a character with a name, if you don't see him die, they're not dead. So some of them think he's dead. The other half are he's gonna come back and he's gonna be super pissed. So they had just gotten through this really dramatic, really intense moment where one of the players was possessed by this anger demon, which was kind of making him transform into this hulkish type monster. And they had to do kind of a spinal tap type of procedure to extract, because pretty much he got infected because he did drugs.
Yep. That's exactly how it went.
It was
exactly how it went.
My story.
He didn't learn his lesson after the first one. After the first little series, he didn't learn his lesson.
There's these red anger crystals, kind of the ones from Dimension 20, and he was the vampires were kind of using them to create kind of an army of these anger zombie people that were easily manipulated. So in the scene before that, he did them, and he was kind of infected, and he was having these flashes where he'd go into these rages. So they had to do a procedure where they had to extract it out, but they had to extract it out from. They had to do a spinal tap to make sure they get that out of its fluid, that fluid out of him, so that he wouldn't transform anymore. So while they finally did it. Right, it was very dramatic.
Victorious.
like they
It
were
was
feeling
great.
really good. They went to leave the hospital to regroup with everybody, and they're
Okay.
on the steps of the hospital, and they know that like the enemies are coming and that like the vampires know where they're hiding out, but they're just like,
Oh,
we just have
no.
to figure out the next plan. As they're standing on the steps, they just hear this bang, and it's a sniper rifle, and it just takes out the player character of the guy.
Not the sudden.
Listen, and we were
Sudden.
so ecstatic because we got the fluid out and we're good. We're gonna figure this out. We're gonna be all good.
Sniper
The-
rifle bullet, bang, and like in post production, I went over that sound effect so many times. I was like, I need to get the right sound of like the body hitting the floor after, and
That- oh
Yeah.
and I kind of just let them be silent and sit with that for a minute, because I
Yep.
told them that they heard a bang and then they heard a thud, but they all checked in with each other like, hey, are you okay? Are you okay? Are you okay? And then they asked about the NPC that was there. They're like, is he okay? And then they finally realized it. They were like, oh, because the guy's name is King. He was like, is King's character like? I was like, he's on the ground. He has a hole in his head, and there's blood everywhere. And they all just like were. It was like a good couple minutes of silence, and they were just like,
Yep.
I don't know what to do.
Shock.
I don't know.
Complete shock.
I don't know what-
Complete shock. Like,
and they actually had to like, because like while this is happening, there's more shots that are ringing out, but they're still all just kind of shocked. So they're just kind of standing there, and then another NPC got winged. He took a bullet to the ribs, and they had to like choose between like saving the NPC that they didn't care about and then carrying their friend's body to safety.
yep. Listen, we carried that body. It was. And then the healing portion of it. The next.
Yeah, they tried to resuscitate him, and it just didn't work.
Oh, that's even worse. That's even.
Listen.
They tried to send you. I'll send you the clip after.
Oh,
Like,
man.
it was this really sad moment of they tried to resuscitate him, and then they all kind of like knew like he's not coming back from this. And then right after that happens, now the enemies are at the front door. So then they go into this fight like, all right, we're taking out everybody. We don't care anymore. We're pissed off. They took out one of our friends.
When you have
Jesus.
to tell a healer to stop trying to heal the person.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's
It was like
you can stop.
It was like the scene in one of those hospital shows when they're trying to resuscitate him, and then the person's trying to pull him off.
can
Like,
bring him
no,
back.
he's gone. He's like, I can do it. I can do it.
That hurts.
They were.
Yeah, it was. We got some get back. We got some get back.
They did. They did.
Oh.
I created a ritual.
Oh, Jesus.
But yeah, like
it was, man.
it was just one of those things where like at the time they were really sad, but I was trying not to be overly happy because I'm like, I did it. I did it.
Look at.
Like those are the reactions, the hopelessness. Yes.
Yeah.
Feed me your hopelessness.
Because I'm
It's
like,
always.
I'm like, you feel bad? They're just like, yeah, we feel bad, and I'm like, good.
We were sad. We were all sad. It was like,
Yeah.
like even though it was crazy because he was a character who had joined the group. Like he wasn't initially part of our group, and we were just like, don't give a shit. But when that happened, it was just like. What, man? Yeah. He got us good. He got us good.
It's glorious. It is like a sense of pride being able to like get those emotions from the players, but also like I don't want to feel the emotions right now, so I'm projecting like this is kind of like the calculated DM of like yes, and then when the camera's turned off, like oh my goodness, I'm sorry, just like oh lordy,
Yeah.
Yeah.
It was crazy.
I got a text.
It was great.
I got a text afterwards from Terry, and he was like, "I'm actually pissed off at you right now."
Yep.
he was like, because Terry hated his character. That was the thing. Their characters hated each other. But like,
yes,
their characters hated each other. But now that character's gone, he was like, I never hated him at all. Like, and he's like, I hate you for making me feel these complex feelings about character that I didn't even fucking like.
Man. Yeah, it got real.
I do love when like the DM is able to kind of like, all right, I will make this character get dimensions that you weren't even prepared for. So buckle up, Buttercup.
Yeah.
I think
he did good.
That's like my favorite part about being a DM is like, the more immersed you can get your players into the story, the more you get that buy-in, the more they stop making decisions as themselves and they start making their decisions as their characters. And then you can, once you're really locked into that space, the story just kind of like tells itself at that point. Like I can almost like sit back and then like I'm barely driving anymore.
Yeah.
He get us though. He got us because after that we were just like, all right. Next thing that's happening, we're like, we were extra cautious. Cautious. And we were just like, all right, I'm not trying to let this character die right now.
Exactly. Like, I live for the moments of her, like, with the players just be able to react, going, what the fuck was that? And just going and give them the hype moments. And just, it's so fulfilling and being like, all right, I'm doing good. Okay, let's keep it up.
Yep.
Yeah.
Oh man,
great moments.
Great moments. So a question I like to ask during most of these interviews, one I can get to, sometimes I don't get to. But what is something that you wish people would ask you about? What's something that you don't get asked about that you're like, man, I really wish somebody would ask me about this? Whether it's like a hobby that you have or something that you're really passionate about, or maybe you think it's something that people should be more aware of, that you have like a more unique kind of like point of view on. Like, what's something that you're just like, whenever you do an interview like this, you're like, please ask me about this. I'm dying to talk about it.
I very much like, I think a question very much that I always like wait to ask and everything of just kind of like, what other things inspire you instead of like the typical fiction media that's associated with your things and stuff? Because for me, very much, I am in the camp of like, you have to learn how to tell a story in every different creative medium and stuff and everything. Like, I am a huge fan of pro wrestling and everything. That is one of my just like loves to do, because you can really be able to tell like a great action scene and be able to like physically describe how a character's reacting and their story and their reactions, and describing their body language, how the pro wrestlers are able to do that. And also very much, I do love me some tokusatsu as well, of how they're able to keep up with the kind of like the campy, cartoonish vibes, but also being able to like tell great, awesome fight scenes and stories with a limited budget and effects and everything. Kamen Rider is the GOAT for a reason. He's my favorite. I need an O's driver so that way I can have the coins, put them in there, and just shout out Henshin at the top of my lungs and just like do the Rider pose so much. Like I love talking about different medias, different forms of media, of entertainment and fiction in general, because I am curious about like, okay, how do you tell the story in the set of rules and games that you have and stuff? And that way I can be like, okay, cool. I can take some of these elements and stuff, look at like my main stuff and be like, how can I incorporate this and that? And also being able to like learn of like, okay, so there are parts I want to put in, but also learning and accepting the parts that I want to put in don't exactly work, but there are this aspect that I didn't think about it works. It can meld in perfectly in there. And that also strengthens your way of like thinking and writing a story and stuff. Yeah. So yeah.
He said, what is that? Inspiration.
Yeah.
What is that?
Yeah.
That's why I like that question, because like when it comes to inspiration for just anything in general, like I really like to pick from different types of media and then put them kind of where they don't really belong.
Yeah.
So like even for the podcast in general, like a lot of people, whenever they do like interviews and stuff like that, they're like, yeah, I just look at like famous people that do interviews. I look at journalists. I look at people who are professionally trained. And I'm just like, no, I go to Joe Budden. He's really good at it. He's really good at it. And he's also not like me, professionally trained. So I look at the person who's not professionally trained that does the thing in the style in which that I like. And also like whenever I do my storytelling, it does lean horror, but like that's just because I really like horror media. But like the undertones of the stories are coming from mythology. They're coming from like a lot of my story structure comes from the Odyssey. I love a tale about people that are stuck somewhere that can't get home. It's like once you see the path, you see it in all things. Like it's kind of just there. So I agree with you on that part. Like you can really, like you really can take inspiration from just the strangest places you don't think you can get it from. Also, all my villains are WWE heels. They will talk shit to you during the fight. It's just
that is my
happen.
favorite thing to do as a DM. And when the BBEG talk shit, but it's like the measured scope shit talk where it just like absolutely hurts. And I'm like, yeah, I'm saying these things to make your character your character act unreactionally without using your smarts and stuff, and just go by him.
I want you to send the highest level spell you can think of at me right now. That's pretty much like, I want you to get mad enough to do that. And then when I counterspell it, you're going to be even more pissed.
God.
Dang. That's crazy.
But I also want you to win, though. It just needs to, it can't.
No, you.
No one has ever felt fulfilled from an easy fight. You've never walked through a fight and gone, oh, that felt good. It's like the difference between like if you microwave lasagna and then like somebody's grandmother spent 12 hours making it. Like, you know what I mean?
Exactly.
Like it's not the lasagna don't taste the same. Stouffer's is not. It's not even close.
Yeah. Brennan Mulligan talked about it during an adventuring party when he was like very much like, I don't want these characters to die right now and everything. But also he was talking about like how like the players will know when the DM is holding back on a few things. And it's important to have those session zeros to be talking about like, how much do I hold back? How much do I punch and everything and all that, and getting those permissions from the players of being like, go crazy and stuff. Because like with like, if you look at like Fantasy High and how we practically had a TPK and then Brennan realized, oh fuck, and literally had like the Phoenix egg. Mr. Gimli, what? Bam, bam, brought back to life.
On the first session. In the first session.
The first day of their high school. It's just like, oh.
Crazy.
Absolutely crazy. Yeah.
But that's one of those things. Like you can't, like you can plan for a session, you really can, but like at the end of the day,
right
like this is improvisational storytelling. Like
that part.
The plan got lost 30 minutes in. We're here now.
Yep. I think for me, like as the character, the being able to improv or make decisions based off of what the people around me have done.
Yeah.
That is like a driving force, because it's like, oh, I see what you're trying to do here. How can I aid this while also getting my plan into action? And that is very much how I play my character, especially like in Astro Odyssey. It's always like, okay, I'm gonna help out the party, but ultimately my goal is going to be achieved also. So it is improvisation. It is wonderful.
I also like the idea, and I kind of stole it from Brennan Lee Mulligan, when he was talking about, I think it was in a different adventuring party.
Yeah.
I think it was the one that he did with Matt Mercer, where he was saying like, everything that happens at the table is everything that happens at the table. He was like, but me and my players have conversations outside of the table about what their own personal goals are for their character. And then we bring those to the table, but then that's an us thing until they get woven into the narrative, and then it feels like it's always been there.
Yeah, definitely.
And that is definitely something where I was just like, I'm just gonna borrow that. I'm just gonna keep that one in my pocket.
That is such good shit to do and everything, and that's something that when I like make sure to have everyone have their moments and stuff, I make sure to also like sprinkle in their character's backstory and being kind of like the tease of just like and then just kind of see like you're gonna follow it, you're gonna like push forward here, you're gonna take a little bait on the hook, and sometimes it'll be like, yeah, and then I'll be like, actually, you know what? I'm a Bugs Bunny this real quick here, and you're just like, hold on, what? I wasn't prepared for this. No. Yeah.
Because I also do it on the other side too. It's the carrot, but it's also the stick. Where like, if you're not doing something that would be in unison with what your character would do, the world is also going to react in that way, and it's gonna kind of hit you in the face.
Yep.
Like one of the characters was like a spy. She was also part of like kind of like this like spy rink within like the pirate ship that they were on. Like that was her main job. Like she was a member of the party, but she just like that was her backstory that she wanted. That she wanted, like, she was pretty much an apprentice to be like a spy in training. Like she wanted to learn how to infiltrate and how to do things like that. And in one of the sessions, she took other spies and convinced them to like divert from what they were supposed to be doing to join her in something that was sketchy as hell, and they died. They didn't come back whenever they went into that excursion in the woods where a bunch of people died. The one that we were talking about earlier, when the whole party almost got killed.
With the velvet, yeah.
She was the one that convinced some of the other spies to go with her for backup. So when they didn't come back, it was one of those things where she thought like, oh yeah, like when the credits roll at the end of the session and we go into the next part of it, it's all forgiven, it's all forget. We're adventurers, people die. No, like you have to answer to the guild now. You just cost 3 trained spies.
Yep. It was a rough moment because everybody was just like,
consequence.
I'm not going to get involved in this conversation.
God,
yep.
It is crazy. Whenever I play a character, I am very much of like those people that loves to play a flawed character, and that don't like very much feels like they were forced into this class that they had to be in for the sake of like getting their goal when they were probably built to be something else, and like them doing things that is not like the best optimized choice for their class when they could do something else for it, and people going like, you have this low stat, why are you doing this? It's like, because honestly, it's what my character wanted to do. It's it's what my character wanted to do, very much like that. It's the clutching of their core thing, even though physically they had to like be changed and everything. They still have these impulses, habits, and stuff that stays within them that they just can't shake off.
Absolutely. So absolutely. And that also, when that happens, it inspires other players to be like, they got to do this, they got to do that, I want that, let me get my thing. So it's see, and that's like this is big because in the campaign we don't talk about
stop fucking talking about the campaign.
No, it's relative. In the campaign we don't talk about, I was like the only one who had actually played before, so it was more of a guiding. And this one, now I'm like, I'm doing what my character wants to do, and everybody kind of flows to their own beat now, and it's like, all right, bet. See, this is what makes it great. That's what you have to do. Is like, all right, training wheels are off now. So what are we doing?
Yeah.
you got to stop talking about the campaign that we don't.
You know I can't ever stop
You
talking
really-
about it.
It can't be the campaign that we don't talk about if you bring it up every time we have a fucking.
I didn't bring it up last time.
You did.
Yeah, we don't talk about that campaign. I didn't talk about it.
So the campaign that we don't talk about, because I don't want you to feel I don't want you to feel out of the loop. So
Who's talking about the campaign now?
It's like
It's
I'm getting
rude.
access to forbidden lore, but everyone's like,
is.
we don't talk about it. But
It's rude not to include the guest in an inside fucking joke, okay? So the campaign that we don't talk about is the first campaign that we did as a group. So the group, like, before we did Astral Odyssey, we ran 2 other campaigns. One that we didn't finish and one that we did. And we ran through, like, an entire Dante's Inferno style, like, Descent to Avernus campaign. And it was really, really fucking good, but we didn't record it because at the time, the idea of having a podcast was just not an idea yet. It's just nothing. We just never thought of it at the time. And we didn't even, like, we never considered recording it or, like, pretty much putting our stories out there for other people to enjoy them. It was just for us. And I think that's also what made it so great. So, all in all, it was a really, really fucking good story, and they love to talk about this really, really fucking good story and all of the implications that really, really fucking good story had. But to an audience of people that know us, if they know us from our D&D content, they know us for Astral Odyssey, they don't know about the thing that we didn't fucking record.
Well,
And
I
they
have
keep
to say
bringing
though,
up the thing, and it makes people feel left out.
yeah,
well, so here's the thing: we're chasing that feeling. That's the thing. We're chasing that.
I'm insulted as a DM.
Oh my god!
I am insulted.
You're
It
insulted
makes
that
me
we
feel as though I cannot reach that same bar, even though I literally brought the sky down upon you, and it wasn't good enough.
No.
The sky
See, you're taking it
fell.
the wrong way. That's the wrong way. Everyone is inspired by it, which is like we want to make it even better. That is what we are trying to achieve. I don't.
It was cool.
Yeah. And it was great.
Sam asked this question. I'm borrowing Sam's question. Hi, Sam. I know you watch these. I appreciate it. Thank you. I'm gonna borrow your question. Have you ever like had a home game that you were like either during or after where you were just like, damn, we should have had cameras for that. That was incredible. If so, what was like the premise of it? What was like the kind of like story of it?
Well, I don't know about that personally with like wishing that there was a camera for like home games and stuff, because I feel like home games have this magic of very much of how it's community and there's no need of pressure, no audience member, nobody. It's just your personal thing that you're able to share. And like very much of it's like, that's also like one of the cool magic things of like the D&D community of like telling these cool, crazy home game moments and stuff without like the camera and stuff without that and everything, because that also kind of like it's like being at a campfire and everyone telling stories and everything, and it just builds this community. And someone in that campfire ring listening who have little to no experience about D&D could very much get so inspired by just listening the person describe their side of the story of this amazing moment in their home game, and you hear other people be like, wait, what about this moment, or my perspective on that, and it's like, wow, that's cool. And that really think is like the magic of like TTRPGs in general, of like that's of it, it's its core is the community and stuff and everything. Like having a camera is nice and everything to be able to like to like be able to like have it a moment of frame in reality so you can keep it and everything. But I feel like it's a lot more precious when it's like imprinted on your soul and in your heart.
Absolutely.
So, yeah.
I agree.
Absolutely.
It's just they give me shit about it all the time, but I'm like,
I can say it was inspiring. It was
Sam
inspiring.
gives me
It was great.
Sam gives me shit about it all the time. She's like, you probably should have recorded that. And I was like, well, it wasn't an idea.
It wouldn't have been the same. It honestly would not have been the same if we recorded it. And that's I think that's the beauty of it, though.
It's also not a story that I can like even repackage in any type of way, because it just wouldn't feel the same. Like even if I had a new table of people that didn't know about the campaign that we don't fucking talk about.
Yeah.
It just wouldn't work, because like I didn't know what I was doing when I did it. It was just the cohesion of the table. That's just what happened that day.
Yep.
Like if they could see my DM notes from that campaign, the spoiler alert, it was a blank fucking page. We just went in off of vibes for like it was like 20 episodes of vibes. Like we did a heist off of vibes.
Oh, it was great. The heist is great.
It was cool.
Stop. You see, look.
Okay.
Yeah. Well, okay.
Don't talk about the campaign. No, we gotta talk about it.
No, because like the thing about that campaign was like, especially because it wasn't recorded, so like I could really just let my inspirations just out and just be like not transparent, but just kind of like pay homage to the things that I really enjoy. So like I really enjoyed like the story of Dante's Inferno, even like the original telling, like Divine Comedy and all of that. Like I love that book, and like I know it like the back of my hand. I can quote it like the back of my hand. So like it was the easiest story for me to tell because I'm just so familiar about it. I just had to make it fantastical in a way, and then. So what I did was, because you're also a Persona fan, when they got to the one of the realms of what was it, like greed or gluttony, I made that one a heist where they had to like do a Persona style heist where they had to like steal the MacGuffin in order to leave, and it was just a really cool thing because like right before the session started, I was like, I should probably have an idea of what this kind of like casino in hell would look like. And I just kind of did like a rough sketch of like some squares and some boxes. And I was just like, that's good enough. And it was just when I gave them just like the descriptions of what it was and kind of what they needed to do, they put all of the other pieces together and then they came up with their own fucking heist plan. And it was so like, for them, it was dead serious. And they were like, we're going to fucking like, we're going to convince the guard to go in the room. We're going to like seduce the guard into going in the room. Then we're going to bonk him over the fucking head and then steal his keys and then try to go down into the fucking basement to get to the security cameras, to get to the access door. And it was just all of these things. And I was just like, they don't know that this is just a couple boxes on the paper and I have no idea where I was going.
It was great. It was great though. Like it was just the cohesion of the table was just on point. So it is you can't beat that.
Exactly. Lightning in a bottle moments like that are just
exactly
those are things you just like keep precious and being like put on the shelf and being like, that's incredible. There's no need to like try to replicate that and all that.
Exactly.
You just try to new ones.
Exactly.
Yeah.
It's not that we want that campaign. It's like we're trying to best that campaign. That's what we're doing.
Exactly. That is the vibe.
I did find my litmus test of like how much buy-in I get for the story is if I could make Tiff cry.
Oh my god. Queen.
Oh god, yeah.
Oh god. My litmus test is very much seeing like the side chat of the Discord we're doing the game in and just like seeing people's reaction via GIFs and like memes and everything. And I'm like watching one eye kind of like, I can't laugh right now. I can't laugh. I'm on stream now. But it's also like, yep.
Yep.
Oh Lord.
Because there's like three group chats going for that campaign. And like I was in 2 out of 3 of them. So there was another one and I could tell every time like there was a message that got sent in it because you just hear like a little giggle, except for when it was a really serious moment and then you just see them send the message. It's just like, oh shit, we're in trouble.
Oh lordy.
Why didn't you do this? Why
It's
didn't
magical. It's really it's just so much. It's just so much fun. Like that's at the end of the day, that's what it's about. It's about fun.
Yeah.
Yeah, definitely.
It was great. I'm just saying. See? You gotta bring this man to the table.
Stop it. Of course. You're you're more than welcome at any table I'm at, trust me.
Just saying.
So we are at about the 2-hour mark.
Yeah.
I want to give you all of the time in the world to tell everybody about everything that you have coming up. Any projects you have coming up, where the people can find you. If you're going to be a guest anywhere, please take all of the runway that you need. The floor is yours.
Alrighty, so y'all can follow me at my socials at pretty much Blue Sky, Twitter, Threads, Instagram, TikTok, YouTube, at Dice and Autism and everything. My primary focus is YouTube and Twitch and everything. YouTube for all my skits and like new Fighter Saga Impact the Father videos and everything, because that's more consistent with like viewership than like TikTok's random like wild magic of like, hey, here you go, and then and all that. I on Twitch and everything. I've been streaming like some video games and stuff, obviously, and all that. Sundays I've been playing Nier Replicant because I did finish Nier Automata. It made me cry, and I want more. It's so good, and I'm on Nier Replicant. I'm playing Nier Replicant. I'm just like, yes, this is great. Also, I'm scared.
Also, I'm scared.
Yes, that's like the perfect vibe for like anything going to new and stuff. And you can check out the new Rollist, which I play on Wednesday as the DM and everything. And also check out the our actual play channel, Tales Guild, on YouTube and on Twitch, where we have other great campaigns going on there. We have like Astral Guardians and Tales of Aegis, which are both DM'd by the lovely B Does D&D. We also have some other mini-series that has happened and stuff, like Sequos, who's the GM for our for the Mask the New Generations campaign and stuff, which was absolutely fantastic and stuff. And we've also had some cool one-shots for charity and everything with guest players and DMs and stuff. Like Attack on Morgan, she did some one-shots that are connected together and everything for like charity and all that stuff, that we're using the Princess in Peril system and everything, which is a really cool system and all that stuff. And she also did a one-shot called Viva la Queer Bar, which was very much kind of like those TTRPGs where everyone is like equal place as like the DM, and they can collaborate and like tell aspects of the story and everything. It was so cool. It was really, really fun. Also, Hans Kate also has a great mini series on our actual play channel that has the Candela Obscura and everything. We did it. We were a part of the Make-A-Wish Kids things that local Mancy was doing for like that month and everything. So great. It was so good and all that. And yeah, that's where y'all can find me and stuff and all the projects I'm doing and everything. Go check out the lovely people of this podcast here. You know, support the homies, you know, all that stuff.
Yeah.
So,
appreciate that. Absolutely.
Yeah.
All in one. We like that.
Yeah, that's the basis for any art community, is that we support the homies. That's art is very much a community, both though. It's a community thing. Like people will say like, oh, it's the elite, or it's all about money. No, it's community, because we all want each other to succeed and stuff. And also being like, dude, check out this cool thing that I made. Dude, that's awesome. Check out this cool thing that I made. And you have that one person like, hey, I made fan art of both this stuff and your stuff here. That's pretty cool. And you're just like, dude. I
That
live for
really
that.
is what it is. That's part of why this became like a thing, because interviews weren't really a part of the channel in the beginning. But there were just so many people where I was just like, man, I would love to sit down and pick their brain about some stuff. Like the people that make the stuff that we really enjoy. It was meant to be a one-off. Like we were meant to do like one or two of these things. But then we fucked around and gave it a name. It's here to stay, and I'm glad for it.
Give it a name, you give it power.
Exactly.
If you name it, you got to keep it, just like a pet.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah, but we have things coming up, sort of. We have I keep talking about it, but due to some schedule constraints, we were supposed to start our next campaign using the City of Mist system. We still are. We've had a couple. We've had a couple of scheduling issues. Life happens. We're all adults with responsibilities. So, in the meantime and in between time, if it gets delayed one more time, we're gonna do some one shots in the meantime.
Yeah.
I've had the urge to roll some dice. I've had some ideas.
Yeah.
I've had some ideas for a while, so it sounds to be like we're doing some one shots, but we're gonna give it one more time scheduling wise because I really want to get this next campaign started so that we can get back to Astral Odyssey after the break.
Hey.
So we have that coming up. The Halloween special, I'm still editing that. That was a Kids on Bike special that we did with Classic Sam, and it was a collaboration between Classic Sam and Get Wrecked D&D. Really, really fun story. If you like ghost stories, you can watch it in its entirety right now if you want. But if you would like to see the full creative vision with the sound effects and everything behind it, you could wait a little bit because then you'll have that. It's going to be released in a 3-part series because that was like a 4-hour stream.
It was great.
It was really good, but I'm biased because I DM'd it. So
It was great.
Yeah, but we have that. We have more episodes of Party Invite, but I don't talk about those until they happen because scheduling. So expect another Party Invite in the near future. And then we did fantasy game critics last year, but we didn't do the results of it because 2 of the people that started in the fantasy critics ended up not being able to be there at the end of the year when we were going to go over the results, so it was kind of messy. So we're going to do fantasy game critics again. If you don't know what fantasy game critics is, it's like fantasy football, but we do it about video game Metacritic scores. We guess what games are going to be that are going to rate really high. It's not about game sales. It's all about Metacritic scores and user scores. So you can it's kind of like fantasy football, except for with your video game knowledge instead of players. So that's really fun. We're going to do one of those soon, probably on the next gaming podcast. So look out for that.
Be on the lookout.
Oh God, I almost forgot. February 2nd, we are going to be on the Imagine If Media Twitch channel. We're doing an interview in character as our Astral Odyssey characters, which should be really, really, really fucking fun. Really excited for that. And Sam's hosting it, and we love her over here. So.
Awesome.
Yeah, super excited for that. So be on the lookout for that. All of our guest links will be down below. Support all of the things.
Support them.
All the things.
All of them.
Support the homies.
Also, he makes it easy to support the things because the things are really good.
Exactly.
All right,
That part right there.
This has been another episode of Party Invite. Thank you so much for joining us today, Dice and Autism.
Appreciate it.
If you, viewer, would like to see somebody on Party Invite, you can go ahead and tag them below. Or if you would like to be on Party Invite, viewer, DMs are always open.
Yep.
Yeah.
Let us
All
know.
right. But we'll see you guys on the next one. Bye-bye now.
Get you.
Bye.